going on, people? It's the Xbot 448, and today I'm bringing you my thoughts on the Xbox E3 conference for 2017. And I know you guys might be thinking, but Xbot, like, it's been a couple days. Like, what's going on? And for people who follow my channel, you know I don't do these videos like right after the conferences and stuff, just because there's this huge kind of like view war going on. So many YouTubers trying to get their opinions out there, their voice out there, and I just didn't want to get kind of like watered down with everybody else's video about the same thing. So I figure I wait until the dust settles, until all the shells fall and stuff like that, and I feel like I could get my voice out there though, out there more, my opinions out there more. So that is what I do, and this is what I am doing now. So we are getting into the E3 Xbox conference for this year, and I gotta say, I was actually very surprised. You know, on social media, there was a lot of stuff talking about how Xbox doesn't have games, how they're not going to show a lot of games, you know, where are the games, all this good stuff. And what did they do? They came out and they hit you with like 42, 43 games in their conference. Of course, when it comes to Project Scorpio, we finally got the name and what it looks like, right? Now, one thing I couldn't understand is during the whole unveiling of the Xbox One X, which is, you know, used to be Project Scorpio, now it's Xbox One X, they went through the stats again, which I didn't understand. They did this whole thing with Digital Foundry that talked about, you know, the kind of like the specs of the console and stuff like that. Not only that, but on social media, they've been constantly talking about the specs of the console. And then even at E3, their t-shirts were talking about the specs of the console. I get it, most powerful console ever made, all right? But there are other things, in my opinion, that gamers wanted to see from this conference, from this piece of hardware, such as the UI, because there's been rumors that it is an upgraded UI, and I was hoping that they would show that on stage as well, but they didn't do that. Like I said, they went into, you know, the specs of it. Now, I am very interested to see what the UI will look like. I think it's going to be similar. It has to be similar to what we have on the One S and the original Xbox One, but I keep hearing that there's upgrades to it, so that has me excited. I want to see what they're doing with that, but then again, they didn't show it. But they did show the games, and I gotta say, the level, you know, the graphics in the games that they showed were absolutely amazing. You can tell. I was on a 1080p television watching the conference, and you can easily say these were the best graphics that they've put on the stage to date. Now, it just makes me wonder, like, games from the past, like, you know, the Gears and stuff like that, how are they going to look? Because they looked awesome as well on previous, you know, E3 stages of previous years. But let's go into the games a little bit. You know, Forza Motorsport 7 looks absolutely insane, as you just saw. It was something that everybody was expecting, though. Over 700 cars, you know, weather cycles, day-night cycles, stuff like that. It just looks awesome. And the big kind of like announcement with that is that there is a Porsche on the cover, meaning that EA doesn't have these kind of like semi-exclusive rights to Porsche anymore. If you are a Forza fan, you do realize what, you know, every iteration that's come out the last couple of years, they have had a Porsche expansion pack that you had to pay for. And that's because they had to, you know, fork over extra money to Porsche, you know, to get those cars in the game. And they don't have to do that anymore. So we're going to have Porsches in the game from the start. I am really excited. One of my favorite cars is actually the favorite racing cars is the Flying Lizard Porsche. So I'm really excited. I did see that in some of the gameplay, so they are going to have that in there. But the game just looks absolutely phenomenal, and everybody expected it to. This right here, what you're seeing right here, is actually a surprise to me, which is Metro Exodus. I am a big fan of the first two Metro games. They have a really complex story to them. It's a crazy atmosphere. It's those games that kind of get you sucked in to that world, where you feel a part of it, and it's not a great world to be a part of. It's just a really good game, really well thought out. It is based off a Russian series of novels, you know, Metro novels, and it is really cool. I am thoroughly excited. I have never seen anything like what they're showing right now on a console. It looks absolutely amazing. And that does bring me to another point, because I said I wasn't expecting Metro. There was actually a lot of surprises in this conference to me, whether it's games that you didn't expect, like Metro, or the announcement of Battlegrounds, Player Unknown Battlegrounds, which you're seeing right here, kind of like the trailer for that. Um, I didn't necessarily expect it. I thought, Battlegrounds was coming. I did. The way I saw Mikey Barra just kind of streaming this game constantly on Mixer, I was like, man, there's a reason why, and it's not just because he really likes the game. And they announced that it's coming to Xbox as well, which is, in my opinion, the perfect time. But there was a lot of surprises, whether it's how far along in development some games are, and how the game has changed, like the game Ashen, which I believe you're going to see a part of in these gameplay clips that I put together for you. Ashen now looks very interesting to me. There are like night creatures and giants and stuff like that, and it looks like a full-fledged game that has some interesting aspects to it. Where the first time they showed Ashen, it just kind of looked like a drab, dark world where you can betray the person that you might be helping. All right. State of Decay 2, which you're seeing right here, looks head and shoulders above the first game, State of Decay 1. And I know a lot of people love the first game, and it had a lot of interesting elements to it, the whole zombie survival thing. One of the things that was a setback that people, wanted in the second one is multiplayer, and that's what they're doing. They added multiplayer to the second iteration. I know a lot of people love the first game, and they talk a lot of good things about it. There's just one thing I could say about the first game, though, that is a negative, and the first game was glitchy as all hell, yo. So I'm hoping that, with the second iteration, they've learned a lot from the development of the first one, and this game runs a lot smoother. From what we've seen from the gameplay, and I know they pick premium gameplay picks and stuff like that to really push this game out there. I just hope that it's a lot more stable. I hope there's not I know there's no game that's glitch free, but I hope there is a fraction of the glitches that they have had in the first installment of State of Decay. The announcement of Minecraft with the kind of like crossplay with tablets, the Switch, PC, everything except PlayStation. Of course, PlayStation would say no to that. But and the graphics upgrade got me excited, and I know a lot of people don't like talking about Minecraft or whatnot, or don't like when they talk about Minecraft, but it is a huge hit. It is a killer title that has sold so much on so many pieces of hardware that they would be stupid as a company not to talk about it, not to continue to support it, and kind of like show what they're doing for the future of that game. Crackdown is one of my most anticipated games this year, and I was so excited when I saw Terry doing the promo in the beginning. And as you can see, the gameplay here, it looks like Crackdown. All right, you got the cell shading, kind of like comic book look to it, but just massive destruction, being able to use lampposts and stuff like that. Throw cars eventually, according to your strength and how you build that up. It's just classic Crackdown to me, and it looks phenomenal. So I am really excited for that. All in all, I gotta say, this was a very good conference in my opinion, and I don't understand what the hate has been. Well, they're talking about no AAAs or anything like that. Here's the deal: there were some things I was disappointed about. Not showing the Xbox One X UI was one thing. All right. Knowing that there is a Fable in development, a Fable reboot in development, and not having them end the conference with a teaser for that, I feel wasn't good either. All right. I'm really interested in Anthem now, as you can see from the gameplay right here, and that's what they ended the conference with. But I think that would have been the cherry on top if they put that Fable teaser right at the end of this and really kind of blew people out of the water. Let's see. There was a couple other announcements as well that weren't in the conference, but they talked about on the floor, which is Design Lab has a bunch of new colors to design your controller with, and I felt that was sorely needed. I know they talk about all the billions of customization options that you have in terms of colors with the controller, but let's just be honest, some of them you're not gonna put together. So like you can have a lot of combinations, but if there's only a few that are kind of what they call aesthetically pleasing, then just because you have all those combinations doesn't mean people are gonna go there and pick the brown with the yellow or something. I don't know, but it having so many combinations doesn't necessarily mean a good thing. But they added new colors to the joysticks, the controller itself. They added grips to the controller, so they are moving that along, which is awesome. Not only that, when it comes to Xbox One X, it is standard with a 1 terabyte hard drive. So that ends any of those speculations, any of the multiple SKU speculations, or anything like that. Now, I was kind of disappointed in the look of the X. I felt like, when they did the 1S iteration, they did change the look of the system going from the Xbox One to the Xbox One S. So I felt like they had the freedom to really be creative when it came to Project Scorpio, or now known as the X. And they didn't really do that. They made a kind of like smaller version of the 1S. So I mean, it's not necessarily a bad looking console, but I wanted more. I wanted a difference. I wanted a premium showcase piece of hardware, and I felt like it doesn't show that really. And that is my opinion, guys. I am entitled to my opinion, and that's how I feel. But in the end, it's about what's underneath the hood, and what they showed from the games and stuff. I am completely excited for the Xbox One X. Pre-orders are not up; they're not available yet for it, but I am definitely looking to get one, for its launch. So that is really cool. And like I said, there was just a bunch of surprises. Ori and the Blind Forest 2. To people who are in the know, YouTubers and stuff like that who have connections, that wasn't necessarily a surprise, but it is a welcome addition, because Ori and the Blind Forest was an awesome title, is an awesome title. All the graphics hand painted, game looks gorgeous, and it's not easy. I actually like that. I like a game, a platformer that is a challenge. It's not just, jump 3 times, collect a few coins, and you're done, but there is a challenge to it. And I like that. It's got me, the sequel, the trailer for the sequel has me considering doing an Ori and the Blind Forest stream, and kind of like try to stream through the game. If I do that, I will let you know. There are going to be points where I get stuck, points where you have to go back instead of forward and stuff, and I might get a little bit lost. But it is a fun game to play, and it is a challenge. And I think a lot of the games nowadays with the automatic saves and stuff like that, you miss some of that challenge. So it's good to get a sequel. They said it's going to be as challenging as the first, and I can't wait for that. But all in all, I mean, Forza Motorsport, Metro, Ashen, Ori and the Blind Forest 2, Anthem, Crackdown, and other titles that I didn't even mention. There's a new kind of like more kid-friendly platformer coming out with Lucky's Tale, which looks really cool. It's actually something I would play. But all in all, it was a great conference, guys. I was really surprised when it came to what they showed, and I really love the quality of the gameplay trailers that they did show. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. As usual, hit up the comment section. Let me know what you think about the conference. Let me know what you think about my opinion. Let me know if you love it. Let me know if you hate it. And if you enjoyed the video, definitely smack that thumbs up button for me. If you haven't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe. But as for now, this is the Xbot 448, and I am definitely signing off.